Thank you very much for having us here. We are really happy and excited to be in this wonderful city, to be here in person and have the chance to personally present to you our project. Actually, we gave the project a name, and I have to apologize in advance that I might not pronounce it correctly, Thalath, the three, but more about this later. First of all, I would like to briefly introduce ourselves. My name is Thomas Busse. I'm the General Manager of KSP Engel International, and next to me is Jürgen Springer, who is the project manager in this competition. We have, actually this year we make 90 years of KSP, so we have a pretty long tradition. At the same time, we are young, full of energy, and having around 300 people in 7 locations from 40 different nations. People from Oman we at the moment don't have, but we are working pretty much on that. If we think about a new task, actually we take each project as a new task, and 80% of our new projects come from winning proposals of international competitions. I want to mention 2 of them because I would like to tell you that we do not only design a vision, but we help you, or we are very keen on bringing these visions to come true. So one is the National Library in Beijing, which was finished in 2008 for the Olympics, and another one, working pretty much in details, is the big mosque in Algiers, which was our first experience with the culture. Coming back to the project, if we consider a project, we begin to analyze the site. We try to strengthen the aesthetics of the locations and bring up an identity for itself. So if we look at this site, we are here between the wonderful Gulf and the mountains, which is actually much closer. We discovered that the buildings are solid and strong, but at the same time, we heard about this before, we have this Mashrabiya, which is delicate and playful with light and shadow. And we got inspired by these stones, which are so surprisingly different from the inside to the outside. So we translated into our concept. We first set against the dramatic backdrop of the Muscat Mountains the 3 volumes. They are stepped from the mountains toward the city, stepped back, creating a scenery, creating a skyline for the project. Then, in contrast, the complex opens inwards, forming a generous courtyard that acts as the heart of the developments, creating a quality of stay. Finally, we wrapped it with this crafted stone Mashrabiya, offering a protection, creating an identity, which from all the sides looks very unique.
And beyond the central complex, a wider urban strategy has been proposed by us to strengthen the site's cohesion. And we see that the building volumes, they gradually diminish towards the far end of the strip, reflecting scale of traditional Omani settlements as it gets smaller from the Mall of Oman and the stadium where also the national team plays. And this enhances the human experience. And at the same time creates the landmark for Muscat. The complex is composed of 3 sculptural volumes, referred to as Athalas, the 3, pasted into a green oasis, creating a welcoming atmosphere for the hotel guests, as well as the lively surrounding for the mixed-use development. Of course, we thought about sustainability. Self-shading sculptural buildings, a layered facade for heat protection, as well as a cooling landscape design show a fully sustainable approach to create a pleasant quality of stay. We thought about adiabatic cooling, hydrozoning for plants, the use of native species, and the prioritization, drip irrigation systems using gravel mulch, and of course a large focus on biodiversity.
Welcome to our Thalas, the hotel. Let's have a journey together through the hotel. When we drive along the highway, the expressway, the hotel immediately catches the eye as 3 strong staggered forms during the day with a room facade dress, and by night with the twinkling lights from the hotel rooms. Coming from the airport, your cab approaches the new central block square via the roundabout next to the Mall of Oman. The car drop-off is covered by a light roof, guiding the way to the lobby of our hotel. Our front desk clerk welcomes you at the reception, while you enjoy the splendid view to the relaxing green oasis behind the front desk, between the illuminated facades. You take notice of the guests listening to the elegant piano play, others taking the luggage from the luggage room. What you hopefully don't notice is our staff managing the hotel from the back office here. Maybe tomorrow morning you have a meeting, then you will discover the meeting rooms, or later you will have a drink in our famous hotel bar, which offers also outside spaces to the chilling outside. Your view turns from the lobby area towards the atrium with its glittering hotel corridors. Let me guide you to the elevators that bring you to your room. Do it to the widening of the elevator lobby. You will never lose your orientation. Then you will see the widening of stairs here, which give the atrium a generous atmosphere. Tomorrow morning, you will have breakfast here in this breakfast room. If you need anything, go to the small shops next to the atrium. An ample beauty space, as well as the gym with squash courts, are also on that level. Taking the stairs upwards, you will find our ballroom. Some breakout areas serving the conferences, and all with the outside greenery terraces. Our hotel offers, all in all, 211 rooms and a relaxing spa with a pool on the rooftop. Here you have the view towards the mountains. On the left-hand side, you have the view to the city. You are crossing the bridge between the 2 volumes. On that side, seeing the mountains. And finally, you come to your room and your view slides to the atrium. Have a nice day. But don't miss to test our restaurant in the evening.
So let me invite you to the office at the Athalas. From the hotel lobby, you have a visual connection to the office building, creating a new atmosphere of human scale. You realize this when you come down the next morning and you've just had your breakfast. While you want to go to the office spaces, you see a roof which guides you here, reminding you of a Mashrabiya screen which is guiding you towards the office and protecting you from the strong sunshine and allowing interesting textures to fall onto the ground. An Instagrammable moment, definitely. And while it's hot outside, you feel the chilly wind. Where's that chilly wind coming from? It's coming from this pool of water here, allowing for adiabatic cooling. Isn't that perfect? Just when you have a long day of work and it's really warm, a small refreshment just to clear your mind. And again, you now have entered the lobby. You've now entered the lobby of the office, and this is when you realize, wow, it's not just the hotel that is sustainable, the entire complex is sustainable in all areas. And on top of it, it's highly flexible. And as previously mentioned, incorporates, for example, vegetation-based evaporative cooling, promotes biodiversity, has a carbon-reducing landscape strategy, thinks about rainwater harvesting, and most importantly, it's accessible to everyone. While you're standing in the lobby, you notice that the structure is simple and clear, based on a regular 8.1 grid, underlining the flexibility for diverse users. and allowing all type of office spaces, from cell offices, combi offices, to open space offices. You also notice that while the hotel had 4 cores, the office has 2 cores. Then, while you're in the lobby, you still quickly turn around. You notice now during the day that the facade elements are composed out of modules, offering sufficient natural light to the spaces and views to the mountains for the users. You also notice that the facade is created out of 4 modules, A, B, C, D, which interlock into each other, like a Tetris puzzle. And while I'm still in the office, about to go and pick you up, you are having a nice coffee in this espresso bar, or maybe even visiting the shops that we have here for you, underneath a pleasant setback which we carved into the building, allowing for a pedestrian-friendly environment. And then you think of another KSP project exactly at that moment. This is the stock exchange in Frankfurt, which shows a similar type of lobby space, modern, flexible, forward-thinking. And you really enjoy this timeless, true, and fascinating space. And while you're still on the ground level, I show you the vibrant co-working unit here in the bottom right. This is where you could maybe come tomorrow morning after you've had another stay in the hotel to do some work. Then we have a quick meeting in the central room next to the atrium, overlooking the entire heart of Athalas. It's made for short meetings normally for guests that you wouldn't bring upstairs, but I thought it's so beautiful I'd show it to you anyway. So we go upstairs. The elevator unit, the stairs, the toilets, and the kitchens all serve as the backbone of the building. And this allows total flexible and an open office floor plan, which nowadays is highly vital. And look, that's how we work. Having this individual cell towards the facade, the open space in the middle zone, which is a space for informal talks, catch-up meetings, and so on. And towards the atrium, you have group working zones which overlook the atrium through the crystal heart. Doesn't this look nice? A space for little informal talks sometimes during your workday. You also realize that each unit has a kitchenette opening to the working area. And we even have a football table in our playful middle zone. Maybe we could have a game later. So, all in all, there are 24 office tenants spread over 6 levels. And this is what makes Athalas extremely special. There could be 24 office tenants, there could be 1 office tenant, there could be 5 office tenants, 6. It's completely flexible. And it can even, maybe it's not even an office, it could all be a hotel. And that's what makes Athalas so special. At the end of the day, I take you outside. We go to the courtyards, which we have so carefully crafted, and we look at the landscape and throw the view back to the building. Look how Instagrammable this is. Isn't this what you want to see on Snapchat? That's what we say to each other. We both snap it, post it, and enjoy the likes and comments we get from our friends. So between the Gulf and the mountains, strong and solid, transparent and playful, surprising, we created a landmark called Athalas, also known as the 3. And while you go back to your hotel room and I leave to the left, you enjoy these beautiful views through the facade onto the mountain, and you send a picture to your family in the WhatsApp group chat as the sun gently sets behind and the day ends. Thank you.
Actually, since we still have some time, we brought some reference projects, but maybe it's not so important. I mentioned some before. More important is that we also work together with a structural engineer. Structural engineer has some experience, even here in Oman. And they're working on the botanical garden, or worked on the botanical garden, and built a bridge in Sur. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas and Jürgen. That movie was dramatic, woke us all up again. Shall we kick off with some questions?
can hear me? Yeah? Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. It was quite interesting and quite engaging, so thank you for that. I have one question regarding the